We're recording.
All right, I'll go and open up the February 7th, 2023 Warrenton Board of Aldermen. If you would, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, if anyone's following along with the pre-printed one, number 3 will be removed. That'll be placed on a different date. And we have the introduction of new employees.
I guess I'll start. Police
Sure.
Department would like to introduce our newest police officer, Robert Parkinson. He just started last month.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Robert. Be safe out there.
Got a good thing or a bad
That was
thing?
quick, Chief.
I figured most of you already knew him.
You, Brandy, are you going to introduce next? Dana?
Yes, I'm very excited this evening to introduce our newest utility billing clerk, Rebecca Huggins. Would you like to stand, Rebecca?
Welcome aboard, Rebecca.
Welcome.
So stop by and say hello.
Now she's in Billy, I'm not.
Yeah, really the last place I want to go.
She'll
What
help.
you're most used to, isn't it?
I do not know Officer Parkinson. I just want to say that.
I'll just wait till you drive home.
If she'd have been payroll, it'd been a wholly different
Right.
situation.
Next will be consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from January 17th, 2023, the work session minutes from January 17th, 2023. The general electrician bid was awarded to Roger Owenby, which was the only bid. The general plumber bid was awarded to Hageman Plumbing, the only bid, and the portable toilet bid awarded to O'Fallon Sewer, the only bid.
Questions on those? I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by, who was second? I'm sorry. Alderman Crump? Sorry. There for a minute. Roll call vote?
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering is absent.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent. Next will be hearing from the public. If you have anything you'd like to discuss with the Board of Aldermen, we'd ask for you to come to the podium, speak your name, and we'll give you 5 minutes to speak. Not see anybody? Well, go, come on, come forward. If you would, just state your name.
Roger Romaker, and I am a candidate for the Ward 3 Alderman in April. I've lived in Warrenton my whole life, and I'm a retired airline pilot, interested in helping the city out. So,
Welcome. Good luck.
Nice to meet you. Although I think we've met on other occasions.
If you haven't been looking around.
Anyone else? Not seeing, we'll move on to the Board of Aldermen comments.
I'd just like to say that I saw on social media that the father-daughter dance seemed to be well attended and looked like there was a great deal of fun had by all. So,
Yeah, I got a little ornery text from my daughter who asked why I didn't invite her down from college to go.
How about that?
Such is life. I said, hey, why don't you worry about your studies and your tests,
Get the grades.
and we'll do it next year.
buy her dinner someplace at work.
Exactly. Well, no, we do that on a probably a monthly basis at least.
I just hope everyone has a happy Valentine's Day next week.
Yeah, don't forget that
Wow,
men
thank you.
and ladies, let's not be biased, but
Public service announcement there.
if you're old school men, you better get out there. If you're not, then to each his own. Anything else?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. Next, we'll hear from Jane Kelly on the homelessness in Warrenton.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to share with you what we're doing. I'm Jane Kelly. I'm a retired registered nurse. I've been working for the last 12 years with Warren County homeless. About 4 months ago, you had a public meeting on housing, and at the end of the 2 hours, I spoke for a couple of minutes, and I gave a challenge. I said I'd like to have 2 or 3 things. It seemed like in this last interlude, I hadn't seen or heard any action. Maybe you did. Maybe I just don't know. But I was hearing a continual theme. The homeless here choose it, and they're not from here. So I'd like to present a little video clip that we made, and you can hear from your constituents what they're experiencing. Can you play that for me?
My name is Erin, and I'm from the area, and I did not choose to be homeless.
My name is Matt, and I'm from the area, and I didn't choose to be homeless.
My name is Keith, from the area, and I did not choose to be homeless.
My name is Becky, and I'm from the area, and I did not choose to be homeless.
Hello, my name is Nick. I'm from the area, and I did not choose to be homeless.
My name is Rick, and I'm from the area, and I did not choose to be homeless.
My name is Stacy. I'm 53. I did not choose to be homeless.
My name is Mark, and I'm a 17-year resident of Warren County, and I did not choose to be homeless.
Hi, my name is Eric Stevens. I'm from this area. I didn't choose to be homeless.
My name is Andy. I am from Warrenton. I went to high school here in Warrenton. I've always lived in Warrenton, and I definitely did not choose to be homeless.
My name is Zachary Dunn. I did not choose to be homeless. I am from Warrenton. I graduated from Warrenton High School.
I was homeless for almost 5 months in Warren County. During that time, I'm legally blind, so I didn't have a car to sleep in or nothing. And there would be nights I would wake up behind a dumpster in the snow. And there was no housing choices for me. I had to try to maintain a hotel room at $90 a night.
Hotel prices are outrageous. I mean, there's some people that helped us. Usually people that just drive by and see us. There was one guy that let us sleep in his daughter's room on the floor because she was out of town at the time. Another time we were actually in a parking lot airing up an air mattress in the back of the truck and somebody stopped by and gave us some food and let us sleep in their driveway just so we wouldn't get harassed by cops anymore. Because any place we tried to sleep at, even if we were just there sleeping, they would run us off and threaten to take us to jail and everything else, or say that we were trespassing, which we weren't committing any crimes or anything, we were just trying to sleep.
I was living with a boyfriend at the time, and he was very abusive, and he would always take my check. I get a blind pension check because I'm legally blind. He was taking my money every month, and then he would kick me out. And then I'd come back, he'd let me come back, and then this was repeated history. Then I would stay with family. Well, unfortunately, I started drinking on top of it. Just a coping mechanism, I think. And that became bad. So then family members wouldn't want me there because of my behavior of drinking, and if I'd be kicked out of there. And then my kids lived in Columbia, and they're both on housing. Well, you're not allowed to stay there if you don't have your own. They consider you trespassing, and I didn't have anywhere else to go. So I was literally putting them at harm's way. So I kept getting caught. So then I'd go sit at the park, or then I'd meet people, and I'd stay places I didn't really want to stay.
I found myself homeless, and I found my daughter. I had my daughter taken from me because I was homeless, and finding resources when you're homeless is it's easier to get your teeth pulled. It's very scary, very treacherous territory out there, especially as a single mom. The first night I was homeless, I slept in a bus with a biohazard trash bag torn in half covered me. You get smart, I guess, when you're homeless, but nobody should have to get smart like that. I've been homeless on and off for the past 4 years, honestly. Struggling. Every time I thought I got my feet grounded, something jerked the rug out from under me. It's very difficult to find anybody.
I have pages and pages of different people that I have contacted. I mean,
page after page after page of all these places that I've contacted, and none of them have any places available.
Come here in '81, and my mother, because of the GM plant, I played football here and went into the service and been overseas and just done so much, all kinds of stuff. But I never thought at the end I'd be homeless like this, you know. Happens to the best of it, and it ain't because I chose to be at all. But things do happen, and there's a lot of kids out there that's suffering too because of parents losing their job, all kinds of things, you know. So, and I ain't so much worried about me, I just worry about a lot of other people. Because you don't know about the homeless thing until you're out there in it. When you're homeless, you're homeless. You're gonna learn who's out there and who's not, you know. So it ain't no fun.
You have to call 211 for help for anything and for everything. Each individual act. And they only answer their phones, I think, once a week. And so you gotta wait a week. But in that week, you have no help.
The 211 network wasn't much of a help. Paul Cruz from Winsville was able to put me in a hotel for a week, which helped me to make it to my first week's pay when I finally got a job. And a lot of the opportunities that I were given were just by kind-hearted citizens, not by officials and anyone of that nature. The Compass Network was a good help by bringing me food to the hotel from pantries. But as far as being harassed by the police and wondering where I'm going to sleep the next night, because there's nowhere to sleep when you're homeless. You have to illegally sleep somewhere. There's just no way around it.
It's definitely not a choice. I've never been homeless before. It was just bad situations that had taken place. It's been the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, but this is full of medicine. I'm on oxygen 24/7. I got my oxygen machine, my big one over here. And then I got one over here. And then I got a little one here. But I'm on oxygen 24/7. And it has been very difficult. If it was not for compassion from people, we would not be here today.
Hope that brings you just a little bit of light. I see dozens of people every week and get frantic calls all the time. I gave you a handout. Did everyone get the handout? Or are you just going to do it on the overhead?
Scan
So I think I'll just.
You can. We have it here, but you can.
I need you actually at the microphone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can
So-
see it on our front.
Of this two-page handout, and I know I just have 10 minutes left, the most important thing I need you to understand that I hear, maybe you don't understand, is the statistics. I like statistics. I look at them. I've looked at our statistics for 20 years and intently for 12 years. By population, there's 114 counties in the state of Missouri. We're in the 30s. Steve Etcher says we're 33. The United Way says we're 34. We're in the 30s. So we should be in the 30s for homeless. And if only thing you hear tonight is this, we're triple. Warren County should never be in the top 10 under any circumstances. And it's a huge impact on our infrastructure and on our community. Are we okay? Mm-hmm. Of the 159, and I just took a snapshot, we were number 8. I checked tonight before I came in, and we're number 5. We vacillate between 3, and I did see 10 one time. Usually we're never below 9. Of the 159 requests, 97 were Warrenton. So you always have, that statistic never changes. You always have the lion's share here in Warrenton. And when I pulled this stat a couple weeks ago, 60% of the requests were not met. Often it's 80%. We just did the point in time count in Warrenton. It was very high. We found a lot of unknown or new to us homeless. If you don't know what that is, that would be our talk. Why do we have homeless? Why is it so high in Warrenton? In 2020, we lost about 75% of our subsidized housing, and in 2020, we lost about 80%, and that has to be a guesstimate from NECAC of how much Section 8 that we lost. And that would be another long cup of tea. We'll move quickly. We have limited housing choices in our area. And I won't read all of these. If you look at that long list of housing choices, this is what all other cities and counties have in spades. This prevents homeless from piling up because these allow us to put somebody into housing in days, hours, or weeks, not years. In your Warrenton vision, I'd like to read this. It says, in 2016, on your plan review, there are several general references to overcome barriers to a wider range of options, and this was under the housing section, and to support a variety of age, income, and lifestyle choices. I know that you don't have to stick to your vision or your comprehensive plan, but it looked like there was some good structure in there, or some good thoughts. 2 years ago, I heard about Bloomington, Indiana, and I toured and stayed and was taught by the social workers there. 65 years ago, this similar kind of group, the mayor, the alderman, the city officials, put into plan, and you can read some of it on the internet, that above all, they wanted to create affordable, safe, good housing. And at that time, they had less than 30,000 people. As a Democratic city and a Republican state, they went after subsidized tax credit housing. They embellished and got insurance and whatever they needed to help the Section 8 housing. They invited all the people that they could that would understand housing choices, and they learned. She said, if you're homeless or you're hungry and you're in Bloomington, it's only because you truly choose to. They have 4 food trucks that are run by nonprofits that operate 24/7. No ID needed, you're hungry, they just have simple things like one had rice and vegetables. Breakfast, they have oatmeal, they have coffee, fruit, etc. If you're homeless, they have homeless, you always have homeless. But within hours, they're given options. Would you like to be in a tent? We have a little spot over here that the police monitor every 2 hours, paramedics go daily, social workers go daily, porta potties, dumpsters, etc., monitored in the city. When they don't want to be there, just let us know, and we put you into housing. It was like I couldn't dream. You see on TV about San Francisco and what a nightmare homeless is, and then you go to a city that is now 90,000, low crime, jobs everywhere, rentals everywhere. It was just unbelievable. So you can live in Bloomington and not go through hunger, not be dumpster diving like our people are, not hiding in sheds and behind buildings and in our vacant buildings. Missouri House Bill 1606, we could talk for hours about it. I just want to mention it. It's important. I think we should leverage this to our advantage. I'm not for this bill. I talked to both of the authors. I've talked to 3 attorneys. It's tied up. It's being challenged. But the 3 attorneys all felt that most of it would still fly. And when it does, it would change our funding. And if we was to make an action, we could get that to help us. But anyway, that's a long, that would take a long time. And I know I just have a couple minutes. So I'll end with this. I would like 2 things, the same 2 things that I asked for 4 months ago. I'm asking the City of Warrenton to immediately make selection of a temporary place for triage, safe parking, showering, and tenting. And the second thing I would like is to appoint leadership and oversight to 1 full-time person. And I have a couple things I'd like to add to that. That person or committee or agency, let me just sidestep. In my research in the city, there are people who would like to help, but if it's not in their job description, they can't. I'm sure you know that. So I would like them to monitor trends in current housing stock and options. I would like them to present renter's insurance to this board and consider for purchase to help bring back our Section 8. I went to the HUD meeting in Hannibal on tri-state housing, and I got to have lunch with, anyway, there's a way to solve our Section 8 with the insurance. Number 3, I'd like to invite developers to bring in subsidized housing, allow zoning for alternate housing choices. Right now, there's barriers. The reason we don't have all of those housing choices is because when people try to bring them in, they're stopped. I'd like the free market to work. Find solutions for crisis, triage, and resources. Communicate with the field and the frontline workers. Report frequently to this body and to the public. And coordinate with the other cities in the county. And I hope I stayed within my time allotment. I thank you for allowing me to speak, and I plan on coming back in a month to see what you're doing. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Jane while she's up here?
Jane, I was just going to ask, I know this is county, we're city, but obviously Warren County, have you talked to the other cities in the county as well about this issue and brought it to them as well?
I plan on showing the movie to Truesdale and Wright City in their upcoming meetings. I have been in talks with the commissioners. I've challenged the commissioners to do what Lincoln County has done. They're rolling out a big triage center on the ground right next to their health department. They're looking at this new law and they're being smart. And they're understanding that you can take your COVID money, et cetera. So they have a great plan. And after they announced their plan, then Catholic Charities, et cetera, came in for the monies to run it. Because I estimate if we did a big project in Warren County, it's $500,000 a year just for the personnel. They're a very tricky bunch to monitor correctly and safely. So a major triage could still happen in the county. Right now, during the winter, we need a way to shelter people. Like this last ice storm, even though the warming shelter was, I'm over my, is it okay to keep talking? The warming shelter was in Wentzville, the ice was all out. I mean, we found money and put them in motels what we could. Sometimes all of our motels are full of homeless. I'm sure you know that. I mean, there literally sometimes is nowhere to put a person. And because of the amount of people, we have a lot of people living in motels, I'm sure you know this, that are homeless, and they have to pay $2,500 a month because they can't find anything to rent. It's very, very hard. Did I answer that? Thank you for the question. Anything else?
Any other questions? Good, thank you, Jane. Next will be City Administrator Brandy Walters.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you tonight is Resolution 341. And this resolution is for the funding that we were requesting through DNR with the lobbyist, all of that stuff. In order for us to take the next step, we have to submit a resolution to them. And we've submitted everything up to this point. So now we just have to do this and go from there.
The funding in regards to?
This is the funding for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. It's like 3.2 million, I believe.
And I just wanted everybody out there to understand what we were basing it for.
Are we going to go out, Brandy, for more than that, though?
Yes, well.
Because they told us to resubmit it, and they said there's more.
No, that's not this one. That's a different.
Okay.
That's a different grant.
Gotcha.
Any questions on that?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the reading of Resolution 341.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, second by Alderman Schultz.
A resolution authorizing the filing of an application with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Financial Assistance Center State ARPA grant programs for a subaward of federal financial assistance provided to the state of Missouri by the U.S. Department of the Treasury pursuant to Section 602B of the Social Security Act as added by Section 9901 of the American Rescue Plan Act.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Or resolution passes, I should say.
The next thing I have for you tonight is a bill for code amendments for recreational marijuana that was just recently passed in that Amendment 3. What this will do is prohibit the sale of marijuana to persons under 21 and prohibit smoking marijuana in public. This is for the recreational side of things, and this is just bringing our code up to speed with what the state statute just passed.
It's mirroring state statute,
Correct.
basically. According to the amendment and the guidelines that were passed forth by the voters who voted it in.
Yes, thank you.
Are there any questions on that?
No questions.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 10-23.
So moved. Second.
Give it to Miller.
Yeah.
And who was second? I'm sorry. Quarter. Motion made by Alderman Miller, second by Alderman Quarter.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending various sections of Chapter 210 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton related to marijuana regulations, enacting a new Section 210.573 prohibiting the public use of marijuana within the city, and enacting a new Article 15 prohibiting the sale of marijuana to those under 21 years old.
Entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 10-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, second by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending various sections of Chapter 210 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton related to marijuana regulations, enacting a new Section 210.573 prohibiting the public use of marijuana within the city, and enacting a new Article 15 prohibiting the sale of marijuana to those under 21 years old.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I will say with that, I'm glad you were reading that. That's no dig on an age, but when we put Roman numerals in there, I think that gets hard for our new generation to pick up sometimes. I know I'll get criticized for sliding that, but I have seen it read different ways, and there are times I'm a little dismayed, but
X5.
yeah, exactly. XV.
The next thing I have for you is a bill for the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission, their supplement agreement for the TAP grant. This is the one that we were going back for. And on here, the original TAP grant had on their construction completion by 2/28 of 23, which is impossible. So the supplement is just, all it's doing is changing that date to July 28th of 2023.
28th, you said?
Yeah, July 28th.
Do you have any questions on that?
No.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 11-23.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Quarter.
An ordinance authorizing execution of a supplemental agreement between Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission and the City of Warrenton, Missouri to revise the original agreement regarding sidewalk improvements along the south side of Veterans Memorial Parkway.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 11-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Miller.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing execution of a supplemental agreement between Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission and the City of Warrenton, Missouri to revise the original agreement regarding sidewalk improvements along the south side of Veterans Memorial Parkway.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent.
These next three are code changes that are also mirroring the state statutes that had recently changed. And our attorney, Drew Weber, actually did all of these for us to bring us up to date in our code. So this first one is for offenses in Chapter 210, so various offenses that could be committed. Then a second one is also for regulating refrigerants. And the third one is for amending the code for what can be released on utility billing.
What was it?
The information that can be released on utility bills.
Questions on that?
None.
I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 12-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, second by Alderman Corder.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending various sections of Chapter 210 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton related to offenses.
I'll entertain a motion for second reading of Bill number 12-23.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Cullum.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending various sections of Chapter 210 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton related to offenses.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Corder.
Yes.
Motion passes bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for first reading of Bill number 13-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Miller.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending Section 500.090 of the Municipal Code regulating refrigerants.
I'll entertain a motion for second reading of Bill number 13-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending Section 500.090 of the Municipal Code relating refrigerants. Regulating, sorry.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Corder.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of Bill number 14-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending subsection A of Section 106.020 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton.
I'll entertain a motion for second reading of Bill number 14-23.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Schultz.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending subsection A of Section 106.020 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Corder.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent.
The last thing that I have for you is our annual planning meeting will be coming up, and I wanted to check with you guys. You guys can send this to me later. Your weeks of February 20th, 27th, or March 6th, it would be an all-day planning meeting here in this building. So if you can send me your availability so we can get that scheduled, that would be great.
We can do that.
That's all I have for you tonight.
All right. Next, we're from Finance Officer Dana Blaska.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. We have before you the financial reports as of December, so halfway through our fiscal year. You'll notice that general fund revenues, before the timing issue with transfers, but the most part, the general fund revenue is about $220,000 above budget. And I'm supposed to say accounts payable first. How about we take
All
a
right.
step back and do accounts payable?
It's all right.
I just saw that. What are you doing? You have a list of claims before you. Claims totaling $410,059.57. Were there any questions about that list of claims?
Entertaining motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $410,059.57.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Miller. Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Corder.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Now
I
you
will talk about those exciting December financials. So about $220,000 above budgeted revenue in the general fund, spread across various items. Sales tax about $47,000, motor fuel tax about $28,000, court $22,000 above, franchise tax $41,000. As of December, property taxes were reflecting $36,000 above budget. I will tell you that we have received our January payment, which is most of the payment on property taxes, and by that point we're talking about maybe $4,000 above budget for the year, so pretty close in line there. General fund operating expenses about $304,000 below budget in operating expenses. Again, a chunk of that's just supplies and repairs and things that are coming in the last half of the year. About $195,000 of that variance, though, is related to vacancies, so staffing issues and things. So, in the transportation fund, $81,000 above budget. Again, mostly that timing issue on the MoDOT reimbursement. Expenses, about 86,000 below budget, primarily related to vacancies there. Water and sewer fund is looking at about 110,000 above budget in revenues. A mixture of industrial sewer, 91,000, and other residential and commercial water and sewer slightly above budget, and connection fees, though, are down about 71,000. Operating expenses for the water and sewer fund, 119 below budget, of which 65,000 of that is related to vacancy. Were there any questions on those December financials?
Okay, go back to the pool.
Pool, yes, sir.
Recreation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, there we go.
So,
Why was camp canceled? Anybody know?
We didn't have enough registrations.
Okay. It looks like most all of the items in that category are below budget as far as income is concerned, which is still the same trend. Okay.
Any other questions?
No, it's fine.
Mayor, I did want to touch
Sure.
base with you guys and get you up to date on when I think you talked to most of the departments last meeting about their kind of annual achievements and where we are with things. So I wanted to bring you up to date with some things in the finance department. So just some numbers. I know they're exciting.
It's actually good to hear from you.
So in the area of business and liquor license, we issued about 697 licenses. Checks generated, which seems kind of routine, but about 2,063 checks. It does bring up the topic for the future discussion that there are probably ways we could make that operation a little more efficient. So we'd like to bring some thoughts to you on that, because that's a lot of handwritten, not handwritten, but you know what I mean, printed out, signed checks and things. So we could come up with a little better way to do that. The other thing that finance has been involved in, along with the other members of the staff, is the electronic timekeeping. So you were kind enough to allow the city to purchase an electronic system. So we are in the process of getting that up and running. We did a little test rollout to the managers, so we rolled right back and said we're going to have to work with the software people to perfect a few more things before we roll it down to employee level, because we'd like it to be a wonderful success for everyone. So I think we're moving along pretty good on that now. We all know that the citywide software has been another big project for both finance and other members of staff, but we've started the process a little bit. You know, they've been pulling data out of our old system, trying to get some things started. We all know that it won't be fully implemented till December this year, but it looks like everything's on track, just a kind of a slow start.
Dana, on our new software for checks, are we going to have the capability of those being signed automatically, or?
So I should clarify, we already have that capability in our system. It's still just a lot of generation and printing.
Oh, okay.
So we can actually do the signatures automatically. What we don't do in the current system is like send ACH payments, things like that.
Is our current one able to do the ACH deposits, or?
I'm not saying they're not able to, but they offered us some quote of thousands of dollars in order to convert the system to that, to which I believe the thought was it's maybe time to buy new software.
The new software will be able to do ACH?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
We just gotta wait it out until then.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate when you read these reports, if you see something that's unusual or a trend, that you explain. Timing, a lot of it has to do with timing as far as income or expenses, like openings in our departments, like you mentioned a while ago. That's important, because if we see something trending a certain way, it's kind of the yellow flags that we really appreciate the research. You can explain to us why it's that way. Okay?
believe that's all I had.
Any other questions? I think it goes unsaid, but Dana sometimes has the burden with all department heads and the board when we do our yearly planning to tell us no at times due to financials, and I think it's a burden she bears pretty well, and she's pretty good at being able to ease us down and say, hey, that's not feasible by financials, and it is much appreciated, and we like to give you a hard time, but it is much appreciated that you do take your time to be able to explain exactly why. It makes it a lot easier for when we go out to explain it to citizens who are asking, we have an explanation with us to be able to give them, instead of, I don't know, let me find out. It's a lot easier when I can jot down notes and actually explain things.
You betcha.
Next, we'll hear from the substitute speaker, Brandy Walters, for Aquatics Director Lisa Kramer, who's out tonight. So,
in front of you is the Aquatic Center monthly report from January of 2023. And in there, if you look at it, we've actually changed this report a little bit to add a few kind of not so many numbers, but kind of more important numbers and some revenues in there so you can kind of see how this flows throughout the year. I just think it might be a little more helpful for you guys to see this kind of information. Let us know if there's things that you don't like or things that you'd like to see changed or added to it. One of the things, Lisa gave me some notes, luckily, for tonight. So on January 1st, they started some new software at the pool, and that seems to be going very well in scheduling and all of that stuff that they do out there. They had 1,810 people come through the doors the month of January, and that actually ends up being down 116 from this time last year, but this year they had 2 snow days in January. They had 8 new memberships and 6 renewed memberships that were sold in January. The daddy-daughter dance was Saturday, and they ended up having 2 sessions and were sold out in both sessions, one with 63 people and one with 64. And that actually, I believe, is up from last year, because last year their total was only 76. So that's increased this year. March 11th is their splash and pajama party, which is where kids 5 to 12 can go to the pool. They can enjoy pizza. They get to play bingo, and they do some swimming and that kind of stuff. So that is on March 11th. And then on March 1st will be their extravaganza carnival that they have annually out in the parking lot. And they are looking for any volunteers to help with those carnival games and raffle prizes.
questions on those?
Do you know if we, when we have these activities, parties come up like the daddy-daughter dance, is that advertised in our local paper?
I believe they advertise it in the paper. They do it on social media. They do a lot of advertising.
I understand we need social media. I'm not saying, but I think sometimes we can miss out somewhat by not putting it in a local paper. I think we need to use that medium as well as social media. That's just my opinion.
Just a quick question. Melanie, could you pull it down if you don't mind? On the average, it's a daily admission revenue, average 3,600. Is that?
That's what they averaged in the month of January with that 1,800 people.
Okay.
At
So that was
whatever it is, $4 or $5 to get in.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome.
Next, we're from Grounds and Maintenance Director, Justin Knoll.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. In front of you have a representation of our January monthly report. Then I also was going to have a reminder for the community that we'll be doing our cleanup at the cemetery starting here in a few weeks, just probably in the first week of March.
How's I guess it's been what, about a week? Not even 2 days now?
Just a couple
days. How's it been?
Busy.
I'm sure.
As it should be.
You got this figured out yet, Justin?
I will apologize. I was down for the count, so I was not able to make the retirement party. But guess it was well attended and nice.
Was. We had a lot of people that came. They did a great job setting that up. Staff set that up, and it turned out really good.
I'm sure we'll see Brad on other capacities now that he's John Q. Citizen. He'll come in and let us know how he feels.
Did he give you his telephone number, Justin?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I know where he lives.
Well, I know we said it last time, but officially, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been with us, but welcome to that seat.
Yeah.
It's a nice
Yeah.
seat to ride.
Thank you.
Any other questions, or will be it? Nope. All right, thank you, Justin. Next, we'll hear from the Public Works Director, Guy Jeevers.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. I only have one item for you. I'm asking for approval to accept the bids for the treatment plant diffuser replacement from ESA Incorporated out of Marthasville, Missouri. They were low bid for the amount of $10,279. Our budget amount is $9,426. I need to reallocate money of $853 from the carport budget that was completed and was under budget of $1,917.
Basically, you're still 1,000 and some change under the budget, and you're just asking for a small portion of that to be
That's
allocated.
correct, and that project's
Hey,
completed.
listen, I got to sing your praises when I can, Guy. So we're doing that.
Thanks for not
Usually those
asking.
numbers are staggering you throw
Yes.
up there, but I think people don't realize how much those parts really are until you actually put it out there.
I'd just like Guy to come in just one day and say hi.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Or just say, I've got all this credit money, I don't know what to do with it.
Help me.
Everything's built and fixed and don't have any issues.
We know that's not going to happen, though. There's too much stuff needs replaced and how much stuff actually breaks down.
Everything's gone up. We get prices for last year, and then here everything went skyrocket.
I think we all like giving you a hard time, but I mean,
I appreciate it.
any of us that have actually sat down, either talked to you or gone on tour with you, realize there's a lot of working parts that you've got to maintain.
Oh, man.
Justin hasn't asked for any money, just saying.
Wow. Just throwing it out there. 2023 starting well for Justin.
Ticking.
Any questions on that?
No.
No.
I'll entertain a motion to award the treatment plant diffuser replacement bid to ESA Incorporated in the amount of $10,279, the low bid.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Crump. Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we'll hear from Chief of Police Larry Ellard.
Good evening. In a rare first, I'm going to ask for more money than Public Works. We'd like approval to purchase two 2023 Dodge Durango all-wheel drive vehicles for a total price of $86,746 from the Bellman Automotive Group.
Any questions on that?
Are they fully operational, ready to go? Or we have parts?
No, they'll still need to be outfitted, unfortunately.
Is there gonna be a problem? I know in the past we had ones where we had to wait for a lot of parts to come in. Not that your all's fault. We had to wait for suppliers and stuff.
We're going to explore another option with going with this vendor also because they also offer that service. So buy them and get them outfitted in the same place.
Oh, wow. That'd be kind of nice, so you don't have to jockey, or I shouldn't say jockey around, move them around, and in the meantime, you're waiting on days down.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
So how many, will we be replacing two other vehicles with these two?
Pretty sure that's going to take out the way we usually do it is these two will roll in and the two oldest will come out, so.
Okay.
I think as we discussed before, we're talking about that yearly, right? Trying to roll out two and replace
I
two.
think
just to
these
keep
will
the
eliminate
fleet
the
going.
last two Fords we have, the Interceptors.
Okay.
Auctioning them off probably at some time, do you know?
Correct, on Gov deals.
I don't know if they do a trade-in like Glock did for the pistols or something.
Boy, that'd be nice. It'd be real easy.
I would say nobody wants a Ford, but I won't say that.
I mean, besides that, these things are pretty used up by the time they make it to auction, so.
Yep.
Any other questions? No. All right, I'll entertain a motion to award the Durango bid to Bellman Automotive Group, the state contract.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Crump. Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum? Yes. Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
That's all I have for you.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Schultz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are so adjourned.